Right, aka Creator's Corner, here on NYC Radio 88.3 FM Abuja. My name, as always, is Emmanuel Ebo, and I am your favorite very top black man, even though some people might not agree. And today I have with me in the studio the Texas Mommy G.O. Sonia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very lovely. Thank you for having me here again on another Tuesday, and you're very welcome because I know that you're feeling very pleased.
I wanted to say you are glowing, but your shoulder pad is already high, so let me keep my compliments.
Yeah, I've already taken the compliments.
I did not give you.
Sorry, I inferred from what you said.
It is well, anyway, everyone, thank you for coming on today on this program. Well, we are going to talk about another important topic, as always, here on Speak Right to focus on communication, self-development, and everything in between. On this episode, we'll talk about reading beyond headlines. Reading beyond headlines. Like we all know, I mean, you know how, as they say that the attention span of human beings keep reducing all the time, and people no longer kind of pay attention to things they would normally pay attention to, because we are in the age of TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. We just want everything quick. I mean, on Facebook you see all manner of headlines and news articles that are completely fake, but people still comment on them and act on those news articles or news items, even if they've not checked the details of that news item, for example. So yeah, when we say reading beyond headlines, it means going beyond what you see on the surface. If you see a headline on Twitter, for example, what is your first reaction? How do you react to that news item? Do you click on the link to find out the details, or do you just share it and comment, leave several remarks about that thing, without even find out if it is true or not? So that's why we're here today to talk about reading beyond headlines. Sonia, during the COVID period, for example, did you see how there was an increase in the spread of misinformation? I mean, there was even a time they said that 5G, that 5G network is connected to coronavirus, and people were championing it. African parents on WhatsApp saying all manner of headlines. See, 15 Nigerian professors in Oxford University gathered to send this information. Make sure you send it to all your household. This and that. So people spread news without finding out details. Just say headline like this: man killed in Akure by that. Nobody cares to find out what happened. Just stick to the headline and work on that headline. For you, how does that make you feel as a person who is educated and exposed? Some people react, have this, what I say, knee-jerk reaction to headlines. How does that make you feel?
First of all, it's an exposure of how much we don't read as a people. Because if you've seen just the headline and you went beyond it, by the way, lovely topic, beyond the headlines. I don't know who gave you this inspiration that you're using big grammar and creative topic was, but nice one actually.
Okay.
So it's an exposure to the fact that we don't actually read. You just want to just get the first thing and then you don't go left. And in this age where everything needs to be sensational, we're currently living in a very sensational age.
Yeah.
If something is not sensational, it's very, very difficult for people to stay there. If something is not, even like the way videos have changed, someone just comes, hey, have you heard about this? Like, first video I'm watching on YouTube, it's just, have you seen this? Like, so much. You just need to be, we're just looking for the next excitement. I don't know if it's a pointer to the fact that there's something probably traumatic we're dealing with as a people, that we just need everything to be so high pitched and so there, you know, so euphoric before we can take it seriously.
And those people do those just to catch your attention.
Yes.
You see ads on Instagram now.
Very
Someone is ringing
misleading.
I'm the best in Odogu in t-shirts.
Exactly. So you see some, so like, it's it's annoying to me.
Yeah.
It's personally, because you asked me how do I feel.
Yeah.
I feel mostly annoyed because I'm like, why will you post this? And what is inside the article is so different. When you know that people are going to just, there are many people that just scroll. It's like a tweet. You know, Twitter has kind of fed into that thing. Because just Twitter, most tweets, except when somebody's having a Twitter war or to really, really give a big explanation or something. Most tweets are just maybe a few lines and then that's all. So everybody, once you just read past few lines, nobody wants to keep on reading. Nobody wants to keep on going. So it's a pointer to our book culture, not just here in Nigeria, everywhere. Because we see many clickbaits in headlines these days. We want to talk about somebody, something very important. But if it's celebrity what, this, and then you go and read the, while saying she doesn't believe in water bottles anymore. Oh, she doesn't believe in water bottles. You're not going to realize that she's saying she doesn't think we should something.
I think I don't want to so that the worst is faced, but I feel that the worst is
It's
Facebook.
everywhere. It's actually everywhere.
God, sometimes I come on, I see some headlines even from popular,
Yes.
so-called trusted
Mostly
news
it's even
platforms.
happening a lot with even, actually, probably even all of them.
Yeah.
Many of them. Even with blogs. Like, we saw one today we're reading from a trusted on one of our shows. And I was like, okay, did somebody like go through this before okaying it?
Yeah.
And I can't even blame them, because if it's beginning news outlets just doing and writing what you're supposed to write, nobody wants to read.
Really...
Because everybody wants something sensational. Nobody, even in, this is a bit to digress a bit, even in churches where they have to be like catchy words. I remember somebody writing like a little bit of tweet on it, and I was like, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
I understand, like, it's, for some reason it's to engage because of the common words, but you realize that somehow it's going to be a little bit too much. So much, it has to be like so catchy. Nobody really wants to get down to, like, get to it properly.
Yeah. Every preacher call like sound bites.
Yes,
that would
I
sound
think I heard that.
heavy, or something that would attract
and
social
it's
media
exactly
users.
what we're seeing in headlines. Headlines are so misleading. If you don't get to read the full thing, it's very few news outlets these days that you can be sure would give you. And in fact, they only give you those important things, maybe things like politics, in a few tech topics, the societally deemed serious things. But in pop culture, I think that's the worst. Pop culture will say so and so, and you go and see here and here. It's even worse with pop culture. I think that has to be the worst case scenario of this whole misleading headlines.
And that brings us to the primary consequence of this kind of things. That misleading headline. I mean, it's just simply misleading. Like one little girl, your neighbor is beating your mom. We just go straight. And let's just imagine that coincidentally, that girl is walking out of your house when you are coming. She didn't do anything, no. As soon as you just pass somehow without even asking her what happened. So just because someone has told you, so people just feed on those headlines and act on them. You hear that that phone is going to get scarce next week. From unverified, people start buying and buying, that panic buying. But then it never happened. What made it scarce? Because of the panic buying. Yes,
that's actually very lovely, because misleading headlines can actually cause things that are not even supposed to be to now become. You can have cases where because of somebody mistakenly said something slanderous about a celebrity, and because it's unverified, the people haven't even gone ahead to read the full thing. Once somebody starts to tweet, even people who don't even care about pop culture start seeing it on people's WhatsApp stories, all because it's unverified. And we've all somehow been victims of this at some point or the other. Especially when there are cases that are very sensitive. You hear so-and-so person maybe did like an assault on someone. You're like, are you serious? Because they mislabeled this. Misleading headlines is not just even in the way of twisting the headlines. It's also in giving unverified information. I think that's also part of it. Something that's unverified, you've already gone to verified sources have said, however, we are still looking, something that makes people say, okay, it's still a rumor, but we're going to check it out. But then you just come and say, so and so person did this and this and that. Then somebody has to go and read the full thing and realize that, oh, it was said from an unverified source. How is that something you should leave out from the headline when you know that the headline is in bold? We have to remember that headlines are always in bold. Bold and large. They literally call you like, look at me, look at me, I'm here. So like it needs to be better, honestly.
And apart from, I also feel like this kind of misleading headlines can influence political decisions.
Definitely.
Imagine during elections,
all kinds of decisions.
Your candidate of choice is being maligned every day in the media, even for things they didn't say or
we saw it a lot in the elections of many countries, not just here, in the last couple of years. Not just from one party, all parties. Party I don't say party fans rather, party supporters would say one thing about the other party would say the other thing about the other party. It's to start spreading. People are sending WhatsApp WhatsApp broadcast messages. And I think even much more aggravating is in things like health. So important that people should not be sending out misleading information. Can you remember Ebola? People were drinking salt.
That morning, my mom woke all of us up. We didn't drink salt anyway because at least we were educated enough to know.
Oh my goodness!
But we took our bath with salt water.
People were drinking salt.
But why?
You were drinking salt. Sodium levels are going up. You're going to be hypertensive. And you suddenly think that was what was going to cure Ebola, and it was happening. One person says it. Somebody just types it.
Imagine someone who's already hypertensive now
taking salt to cure your Ebola. You're going to end up.
I mean, And they might even become, I mean, they will start reacting to the salt eventually, and they'll say, it's Ebola, we said it. Something like that. Without even knowing that it's you that
So
actually
many
aggravated
things.
your hypertension.
And the sad thing about this kind of messages is that they have a way of moving so quickly that they will not end up covering things that are more important, trusted information from verified sources to stay up. Because, you know, everybody, things are moving so quickly. We're in a very, very fast age. We just want something to keep entertaining us. We want everything going by so quickly. So once something comes up, it's catchy. Even if something is important and boring, nobody wants to know. That's why maybe they go ahead to give us misleading headlines these days.
Because we are feeding on them. We are going for them. You know
even
how they
when
say
you even watch
supply
some,
and demand.
even
If there
when
was
you
no
watch
demand, there would be no supply.
some YouTube videos, even happens because the headlines is not just headlines for print media. Headlines even for, like, let's say in terms of titles of videos. Learn how to do this to me, and you go on the video. It's the exact opposite. So now I spent like 5 minutes of my time to see you doing what you said you were not. Do you understand? Unnecessary. Again, like I said earlier, just to reiterate, I think health is the worst, and people need to stop it. That health thing is so annoying. People are sending. I'm taking it a bit personally because why are you sending me broadcast message of beans and plantain? It's not good together anymore. This kind of. So many things
during COVID. Oh my God! Sometimes you see this morning, they say you should drink ginger and lemon. Make sure you drink it before you go. Before 7 a.m. there will be something in the air that's flowing around it. I'm like, who? God.
Unverified sources.
And you know how imagination can become reality for some people.
Oh my goodness!
The more you imagine it and think about it, somehow, even if it's not happening, it's happening in your mind, and it begins to affect you normally. So people begin to think that between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. that they will release some virus in the air, and between 12 and 1 they're not sleeping, they're awake, and any small sound or whatever take years.
There was something one year. Was it 2012 or I can't remember the year that they said that there was going to be apocalypse. I don't know how. Thank God we're not even in this current age now where the media is even much more, available. Yes, it's more ubiquitous to people. I know that some people were saying that thing, that 2012 apocalypse. They gave December 20 something. It was so hilarious.
And people
I know that there are people that would have sold their things. People sold their things as in. Make it make sense.
I remember a particular prophet in, I think, Uganda, told his followers that the world will end in the year 2000. So by 1999, they were all selling their properties. This unrelated. It just reminded me of that thing, of how people sold their.
Oh my goodness!
Just because they're hoping that the world will end.
And it's so important for us as people to always verify.
Yeah.
Because we have to just be aware that there's nothing. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. These misleading headlines, it's not going to change because the market supply, market demand requires that this is what they want. So suppliers are not going to stop giving us misleading headlines. They're not going to be trying to tell us about pandas going extinct, and then they will say pandas are about to die. No, you've seen things like that. Or here's why you need to keep your doors locked. There's something. You when I just see this, here's why. You have started. But I think it's now. The onus is now on us as people to ensure we verify. Since we know that these people are not going to change, we need to start verifying. You get a news message, especially when it comes to health. I keep on saying health because people are dying from wrong information.
WhatsApp broker messages from all the big aunties and big uncles in the family. I don't to drag them to the board. They are the worst. Just say that I heard that ginger and garlic.
Because they're very health conscious,
like
and I understand that they're very health conscious, which is lovely. But I think everything should always be verified. Go back and read. Go back and check. Check many sources, trusted sources. Be sure. Some people just have, and it's a lot even with Nigerian blogs, how they just come. I can't remember which headline I saw recently. I can't remember. But I know that I was like, what are you even trying to say?
And when finally click on that headline, the content might be completely opposite of what they say in the headline. Just for you to probably click on that. I think what actually made this to become more of what it is today is the advent of digital ads, AdSense and other ad providers. People want you to click on their website, click on their ads. So the more you see these ads and click on them, the more they can make money. Even those are forced to do this to click on the ads. I mean, I'm sure I clicked on something else, but something is popping up. Even on apps like Zen, they want to send an app.
But to be fair, I think them that's how they actually make their money. They're like sponsoring those ads to be there.
But you shouldn't do it at the detriment of others. I mean, if you see I've seen one headline that said 5 ways you can You can use
like the ads can be ethical.
I think you can use onions to lose weight, for example, or how you can lose weight sleeping. Just some ridiculous things. You just click on it, and the first few pages are all ads. For you got to keep scrolling towards the end.
Why onions is going to help you?
So things like that.
Yes.
I think it's mostly because of these ads. People want you to click on the ads, but that's what I think anyway. Maybe it could be. I could be wrong. I'm open to corrections. But yeah, but talking about headlines now. Like, you mentioned how we should be conscious as a people.
Yeah.
What of people that the older generation, for example? How do we let them know that? How do we get them to start verifying? I mean, imagine you woke up in the morning and you have 50 messages, 10 from your mom, and 9 out of that 10 is telling you that you should press ginger into your water this morning, that this one, or something, just something random that they saw somewhere, that they had this one from Oxford professor, this one. How do we get them to start verifying? Because I think they are most susceptible to this kind of things anyway.
It's obviously difficult because when you hear things like trusted, and the people that type out these things sometimes, they know the schools to put, they know the professors to put, the caliber of people. Professors have researched and said, you just have to when they send it to you, I think it's even on you if you can. That thing they've sent to you, even before dismissing, because some of them are true, that's the truth.
Yeah.
We've actually had cases where some of them are true. Some of these things are actually proper research and journals that somebody decided to disseminate. As a person, who might be much more, tech savvy, internet savvy rather, I think it's best for you to go verify that information, check many trusted sources. If it's not correct, you can say yes, this is true. If it's not, bring out your receipts to also say this is not true, because they will not believe until there's somebody else debunking it to say so and so is actually false. So you need to bring out your own receipts, your own, when I say receipts, I mean your own evidence to say that, okay, no, this is not correct according to this, and you take those screenshots as they're bombarding you, bombard them back and show them why so and so is not going to be true, why it's not going to work.
And sometimes some people actually have this rigid mindset. If I trust somebody or some source,
it's difficult.
They'll have somebody trust their pastor or their imam or maybe whoever, trust somebody so much. I know my anatomy professor once said, told us a story of how his own child was debating something that his teacher in school told him about biology, human body. This man is a professor of human anatomy.
Yes.
And he's telling his child something. So I said, no, my teacher said
yes,
this.
because the children, the teacher has already been placed on that pedestal of as knowing, as all knowing, and definitely not being wrong. Even parents said that children listen to your teacher in school. This. So it's very difficult for children. But anyway, the word of correction will bring the information.
And you know how if when they say research, for example, that people gathered together, did their research, you need to know the details of that research. Who was used for the research? Sometimes these things were carried out in animals.
Yes.
Nobody has tried it in humans yet.
I remember when I was reading about BMI, I still have I don't take the BMI system as seriously as I might have before, because I realized that the BMI is not necessarily, some studies actually went far to say that BMI was not a very good pointer to your well-being, in terms of it was mostly carried out on people who were Americans. What would you, not necessarily, I don't want to use the word Americans, white people.
Yeah, Caucasians.
Caucasians, thank you. Yeah. Carried out on Caucasians. And we know that we as people of color. People of color is giving I'm talking like a white person. The Africans, what's our own again?
We are Africans, Caribbeans.
Okay, good. Okay. So especially us as Africans, because I'm looking at my own standpoint as a person who is Nigerian and all. Some of us from African descent, we don't have the same bodies that they do.
At all.
You even hear things that we suffer more from things like high blood pressure and hypertension more than people who are Caucasians.
Yeah.
Different races have different body makeup. So BMI is not going to be a good pointer for somebody who's that race and my race.
Yeah.
So I just realized eventually that it wasn't really the best thing to know. If you are so and so point something, you're obese, this one. There are many other factors involved in just that BMI thing. Yeah. But the way it can be advertised, use your BMI, if your BMI is between this and this and that, you're this, it's not going to be the best pointer. Because of the way it's been advertised, people can be misled easily. So if you don't go back and give, for example, somebody sends you that BMI thing and you don't go back and really, really research and send it back to them and say, okay, I understand that what you're trying to say and you're trying to be health conscious. However, there are other factors to look at.
Yeah, just as an aside, I think that might actually influence the kind of drugs we are using as Africans. This could be a call to us as Africans to step up in our own research, to research with our own people in our own place, because you know our diet is different, our
Definitely.
environment is different,
Yeah.
everything. So what if the drugs that they develop out there was tailored for their own specific
Yes.
body type and everything? Then we ship it here, we take it for the same ailment but different body types, and that could have not started anyway.
And some of you're saying, I actually think it's actually
But yeah,
important.
back to what we were saying
Yeah.
before, research. You can't just say that something what is a research and so it is all and all. You need to go down to nitty gritty,
Extensively,
find
and it
out.
takes a lot of time. I
Yeah.
think that's what makes people not, do this research, because
But that's why
it
you're
takes
human
so long.
and educated and exposed. The essence of education
Yeah.
and exposure is to make you a better person. You can't just swallow everything you see, hook,
Without
line and
verifying.
sinker. Just they said that Professor this one in Oxford, it's okay, well, it's true. No, you need to find out.
Did he really say
Yeah.
it?
So, for example, let me use myself as an example. My project, my final year I was testing a particular local herb called ajumbise, its effect on blood sugar level. So, and it worked really well in my animal models. I think I used about 31 rats, Worcester rats anyway. But I've not tried it on any human being, so I can't, in good conscience, tell you now, go and drink that thing. It might work.
Yeah, I think some of the reasons they also use to test these things first on animals.
Yeah.
There are some of their characteristics that might be similar to us. Their makeup. That
But
might be
before you
similar
recommend it
to
for
us.
human beings,
Yes.
it must be tested on some models. People that we actually sign agreement, that's how they do it. Gather, do that. So you can't just say because they said that this worked for that person or it worked in animal models that it's okay for you to take. Find out whether it's been tried on humans. Is safe for humans to take yet? Why there are different similarities between rats and humans? I mean, several similarities. That's why they are like the appropriate models for.
Yes, for
Yeah,
testing.
you still can't conclude that because it worked in a rat means that it's working. No, it doesn't work like. But yeah, what I'm saying is research is not like fine. Don't say that it's a research in da 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 da. Find out.
Is it true?
Is it true?
Yeah.
And how far has this research gone? But yeah, I think the onus finally also lies on people that publish online.
Definitely.
Yeah, while you are looking for people to click on your art to make money, draw attention, please let your conscience be your guide.
Have conscience.
Have conscience.
Have conscience.
Have the fear of God.
Definitely.
Let your conscience be your guide and know that you might be truncating people's lives, might be endangering people's lives unnecessarily for how many dollars that you might earn from those ads that they might click. Because some people are not really, you know how people have different IQ levels.
Yes.
They might be educated and exposed, but they don't really have all of that mental strength, to go to the rigor of finding out the truth or the details of a headline or a news article or a research article, whatever. So yeah, you as a writer, as a publisher, why not give people what they should know? You don't have to,
Yeah.
give them wrong information in the headline just because you want to
Catch their attention.
Yeah. So that's when. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, obviously I agree with you. I think it's also the onus also relies on our publishers to do better. I understand because of market advantage, you might want to go the other way, the highway. But I think it's still best to. In fact, I think I believe one of the core principles of journalism is honesty, is integrity, and it feels like in recent times we've abandoned that principle. Like nobody's taking that principle seriously anymore. Nobody wants to be, put any integrity in their work. It's all as long as they're reading it, as long as they're clicking on it, just as many clicks as possible, even though you're disseminating false information. It's very unnecessary, and if they can collectively stop, then people would not be demanding it anymore.
Yeah.
Because if you need to keep fueling it for people to keep wanting it. But if you starve the people of wrong information, over time they realize, okay, so we're back to honest, truthful journalism.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, it's kind of hard, but okay. Eventually, people are going to, just adjust.
People will adjust, yeah, and get used to the proper
Definitely.
thing they should be used to, not some clickbaits here and there.
Exactly.
But yeah, just to wrap up, I would say avoid emotional reactions. These headlines are meant to appeal to your emotions
Yes.
as a human being. They know that you don't like a particular man in power or that's your governor in your state. So that headline will be tailored to make you probably hate him some more or have some, deadly feelings for that person and something like that. So headlines and those clickbaits are tailored to appeal to your emotion. So it is now left for you to avoid unnecessary emotional response or responses to headlines. And yeah, any final words before we
I'm
close?
still just gonna hammer, just to sort of emphasize on the health thing.
Yeah.
When you get any information regarding your health, it is more than important to go back and research. Not just any random person with a keypad on the internet just typing things. Always research. As much as possible, please ask a medical personnel. At the end of the day, they're the ones who went to school to actually study these things.
Yeah.
Because we will have some blogs that might be tailored to it, but they're not really doing what they're supposed to do. So everyone gets that information. I think it's still best to ask somebody in the medical field, even if it's just the pharmacist, somebody in the medical field that is practicing. Hopefully, please ask them, is so and so right? I think even for women, it's even much more important.
Yeah.
Women have such sensitive bodies. You hear very weird things. I don't want to take this a bit far, but you've seen very funny, misleading content on people even avoiding STDs, what they should do to avoid STDs, and you're like, in this age.
In this age.
Yes, I remember watching. There was one socially conscious thing back in the day. Was it MTV Sugar? Sugar was trying to. I think it was Sugar. Sugar was trying to address some of these prevalent societal issues.
Yeah.
And the young girl she was in secondary school, and to avoid maybe getting pregnant, the method that she thought was right. Like, if you should watch the episode here, you're like, where did you get this from? Not to talk about self-medicating. Headlines are just more than what we see. Even what we say, what we say to the other person when we've not verified, we need to be very careful, because you have cases where you read something, you go and say it to somebody else without verifying. Word of mouth is very powerful. One person has told 3 people, those people have told 10 more people, and now your whole state has said that eating corn causes I don't know. I'm just giving a very funny example. So yes, please, when it comes to things of health especially, verify again. Don't just verify once, do it twice, do it 3 times if possible, just to be sure that it is correct, so you don't ingest the wrong things or stop doing the wrong things. Imagine stop drinking water. Just please verify at every point as much as you can.
All right, everyone, don't be a mindless newsmonger or information consumer. Verify as much as you can, and don't spread fake news or unverified information. Thank you for taking our time to listen to us today here on Speak Right, aka Creative's Corner, NYC Radio 88.3 FM Abuja. My name is still Emmanuel Iwan. I had Sonia in the studio. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. Until next Tuesday, we are saying good afternoon and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.